So this that we're talking about, that we're attempting to share, it isn't somewhere else. It isn't something else. So the reason that here I use the word this all the time, I can't find the only reason I really use the word this so much is I can't find a better word. It's not the correct word. There aren't any correct words. If you're looking for the correct language, the correct words to speak about this, there you go. I've used it again. Then you'll be forever searching. No, that doesn't mean that some words won't resonate more than others. Some you'll like more than others. Some will feel closer. But don't get caught up in that. Well, if you get caught up in it, you can't help it. But getting caught up in that is a trick. You know, that is the trick of the mind, that there is a correct way. There are words that are closer to reality, closer to the truth. There isn't any closer. You can't get closer or further away. There is no moving towards this or away from this. So although there are certain words that I tend not to use, it doesn't mean they're wrong. Just words that you prefer more than others. That and resonate, that's not a correct word. But if it feels, if certain words, I don't know, they hit the mark, it feels like, oh yeah, they're right on the money, then just go with that. There isn't anything better I can recommend. There isn't any words that are better than others. But we only have words, so I say this. And the reason that this is a preferred word is because it's so simple. It doesn't have spiritual baggage for a start. That's one of the things I favor about the word this. It doesn't have psychological baggage either. You know, it's not too intellectual. It's such an ordinary, everyday word. And what we're speaking about could not be more ordinary, could not be more obvious. We are talking about this. And so immediately the mind asks the question, so what is this then? What's this you're speaking about? What the hell is this? Well, it's simply what it is. That's everything. And it's nothing. It's empty. And it's completely full. Completely empty. Completely full. And what's it full of? What is this full of? Well, it's full of what's happening, isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, it's just glaringly obvious. You could say the only difference between Tim the Seeker and Tim now in the story, it's just a story. The only difference would be that the one who asked questions about this has stopped asking the questions. Because this is unquestionably this. And if I ask questions about it, that's this as well. There's simply no escape. And really the sense of self is an escape program, you could say. It's an escape artist trying to escape from this obviousness into something else, towards something else, always away from this. But of course, really, there is no, even for the escape artist, for me, trying to move to a better place, a better time, a better experience. That's also this. Even the sense that I am escaping, by escaping, I mean moving forward, becoming. That's no less this than anything else. If that's what's happening, that's as it is. And although that can sound desperately negative because it negates hope, I've said it lots of times before, you'll have heard me say it. The absence of hope is not hopeless. With the absence of hope, with the absence of the possibility of escape, hopelessness dies with hope. There's no hopeless without hope. And you could say what's left in the absence of those stories of becoming, in the absence of the one who could get what they were looking for, is blissfully simple. And by blissful, I don't mean happy. I always heard as a seeker, I always heard the word bliss, because of course in Advaita and in most spiritual traditions, enlightenment and liberation and awakening, whatever spiritual target you were aiming for, bliss was in there, in the mix. There was some bliss going to be involved. And I always thought that meant some permanent, unending happiness. Well, that may be the case. I don't know. I can't say that's the case here at all. If I use the word bliss, a much closer word to the way that I would use that is contentment, which is just the absence of the longing. And yet the longing isn't absent. We talked about that last session, I remember. It's the impossibility that there could be more or less. And in that impossibility, there's so much more gratitude. And again, I would have said that gratitude needed to be mine for gratitude to be present. And again, that's such a fallacy that me tells myself, that self tells itself, that of course I am the one with gratitude. It's not true. Gratitude was never mine. Gratitude is natural. Peace is natural. Love is natural. But I claim it all for myself. So there's really nowhere to get to. There's really no one to get there. And that's not what me ever wants to hear. And yet there are a few strange me's who do long for it. And I was one of those, and you're probably one of those. And all the other me's, nearly all the other me's, think you're crazy. And that in itself can, this isn't all good news. That in itself can be difficult. If you actually say how it is for you, how it is there, then a lot of selves will immediately reject that, and in rejecting what you've said or how you feel, then you're likely to be rejected, and that can be hard. That can be incredibly lonely in the search. And paradoxically, this message is about this and this alone. There is only this, and it is utterly alone. An aloneness that I could never imagine. With no self, there are no others. And yet there you are. But it's very obvious that I can't know you. I can't know myself. So I can't know you. And again, it might not make any sense, but that feels like love. How the hell does that work? I don't know. Because really it doesn't work, does it? You know, from the standpoint of self, love is my love for another. Well, and I wish I could find a better word. Again, we come back to the words. I wish I could find a better word than love, because love is such a solid word. It's so tainted. Oh, great song by Soft Cell there. Mark Almond. I don't know if you remember it. It's just come straight to mind. In fact, it's now playing. But love is such a tainted word, and yet that's the word that comes up over and over. I tried not to even speak about it. When I started speaking about this, I didn't use the word love at all, for fear of it being misheard. But then, of course, words are only ever heard how they're heard. So, damn it, doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is completely alone. And the illusion is that there's you and there's me and 7 billion other yous who are also me's. Whereas there is only this alone, with the appearance of 7 billion others. Okay. When I say there aren't any others, it can sound very, it might say, oh, so Tim Cliss, he can't see any other human beings. No, that's not it. Other human beings, strangely, other human beings become more real when they're not me's, you's. Their reality is their uniqueness, their beauty, their the wonderful humanity, really, of each human being is much more obvious without me and you. Because me and you is the separation. Me and you is the well, I'm not you, I'm me. So there's other human beings, of course. And cats and dogs and tables and chairs and trees and clouds. And it's all this, for want of a better word. And you might resonate with the word oneness. I did as a seeker. It sounded like next best to God to me. So that if I become one with oneness, it was like when I was a child and I wanted to be with Jesus. You know, that longing. And it was a longing not to be me. I've realized that now. It seems obvious now. But in the seeking, it wasn't so obvious. But this oneness is just another fantasy. So this isn't one or many or none. And it's all of them. You just can't get a handle on it. You can't, there isn't a word that is correct. So this appears, it can feel like oneness. This appears as many, as everything. This can feel and it can be experienced as entirely empty. And all of those are true. No one more true than the other. And that can be a real, I think that's one of the reasons why this message has never been very popular, because of course, for me, I want to know the truth. And there must be a single truth. There must be a single reality. And there must be a way of expressing it where you can pass that truth on. You can communicate that truth. Well, this can't be communicated. You would have to say everything. And of course, you'd have to do that in complete silence. That would be close to the truth. So every word that you could ever utter, but no words at all. That would be close. Okay. That's enough of that nonsense. Now, as much as I appreciate you all turning up on a Monday and Thursday, which I do, you must know this is all nonsense. It's, yeah, you find it pleasant or beautiful or whatever you find it, but don't don't for one moment think that it's the truth. Because that's, you know, that's the dilemma. Oh, him over there, he knows the truth. Yeah, she's really got a handle on reality. And if you listen to her long enough, you too could. Well, you're just as likely to to be here and present and experience this in a bar or in a coffee shop. Although I'm not getting to many coffee shops these days. Okay, has anybody? Okay, yeah.
Lisa has her hand up.
Lisa, where are you? Hi, Lisa.
Hiya. Now, it's funny then when you just mentioned that this is all nonsense, because sometimes my 7-year-old daughter's listening to me listening to this,
Right.
and she walks past and she said, "You're listening to nonsense, Mum."
So true. Right. Who do you think's the wiser out of the two of you?
Definitely my daughter.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
but no, another thing that has been seen today. I think you've just mentioned it now with music, and someone mentioned it last week, when you can hear it all through pop music and whatever. And I was just listening to, it was actually aloneness, who I used to listen to 20 years ago.
yeah.
And I've listened to her album today. And I was like, this is through it. But then I was like, well, no, there's just not even a resonance. There's just a hearing there. Yeah. And I liked it 20 years ago. I didn't have a clue what it meant, but I made a meaning in that 20 years ago. And then I've listened to it today and I've heard it a totally different way. And I've made a meaning. The me, has made a meaning in it now.
Yeah.
But there was just that hearing there. There's no meaning in it. We just give it the meaning. The me just gives it the meaning.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, but that's with everything, isn't it? I've just a big sort of seeing or a realization, I don't know, but
no, that is quite a realization though, when you realize, oh wow, I'm the one that's given life all its meaning.
But I liked it 20 years ago for the me stepped in and gave that the meaning why I liked it.
Yeah.
And today I heard it in a different way, but with not just with that album, with a few albums throughout my life, have changed meanings as my life's gone on.
Yeah.
But now there's just a resonance, or there's just a hearing, and I like that, but there's no meaning to it, and I've realised that now. Oh. So anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Well, that's when yeah, no, that's lovely, Lisa. Yeah, it's just the same here, because now all I do is speak about this. Well, I hear this everywhere, don't I? Yeah. Of course I do. I hear non-duality in the weirdest places, and I see it and I feel it. You could almost say I smell it and I taste it.
Yeah.
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 But remember, this story of non-duality is just another story. And so now that's the story. Lisa's in that story. And so that's the meaning that's what you hear.
Yeah, well, that's what I came up with tonight when I thought, oh, she's talking about non-duality. And then I was straight away, I said, no, that's me making a meaning up. She's, because that's where the I is at the moment, or
Yeah.
I sometimes think I'm like what they call oscillating, where you're sort of seeing things, but you're still in the me. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no, it can feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm seeing more and more. Yeah. Anyway.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Tim.
Because there isn't this isn't a thing called non-duality we're talking about. This isn't you know, as opposed to duality. So there's two realities. One is a dual reality and one is a non-dual reality. That's not. Who's barking?
I think it might be Scott. Hang on.
Scott, are you barking? Other than you could say, well, they're not two, not non-duality and duality. There isn't something you can find called non-duality. And I know that's what I was looking for. And that's not what I found. Or even that's not what was found. There wasn't anything that was found. This can't be found, it's already found. Other than the one who's looking for it saying, I haven't found it.
Tim, Lynette wants to ask a question.
Hi, Lynette. Where's
Hi.
Lynette?
Hi, Tim. I've been watching you a few times at the
Hi,
invitation
Lynette.
of Darren, and I haven't really been a part of your group until now. I wanted to say how much I've enjoyed the little bit I've been able to view on your YouTube channel.
Thanks,
And
Lynette.
I think it's truly special, which I know is a self-referential thing. But one thing I just wanted to comment on was going back to the whole thing of love as a word. I've had a lot of trouble in my life with both love and with non-separation. But non-separation, it's like, what the heck is non-separation really? But today, to me, you know, if you can't use the word love, then non-separation is a good catch-all. It might hit somebody else. That's the one I had more problem with.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that, oh, that's what love is. That's really what love is. And it just sort of worked for me because words are hard. We can never, as you pointed out, we can never have a perfect word.
No.
And different people.
Thanks, Lynette. That's good. Yeah.
So that's all.
Oh, that's lovely. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim, can I add a little something? This is Scott again.
Hi, Scott. Yeah, go on then.
No, you know, I have a couple of dogs here, and I take them out to walk, you know, 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah.
One of them kind of thinks that they know what they want, so they're always pulling me in a certain direction or planting their feet. And, you know, they have their place. They like their smells. The other one, no matter where I turn, they're just happy to be walking along. And I feel like I'm just starting to notice little things like that really make me happy, because that's how I want to be. Like, no matter what happens, that's okay. I'm good. This is good. And I'm not just, you know, closing off every time. And my dog would teach me.
You can't be a dog, Scott. Sorry. As much as you want to be a dog, you are so stuck with your humanness. You're not escaping that, mate. Dang. You're stuck with all that mind shit. You know, that's the curse of being human.
Yeah, it'd be easier to be a dog, I think.
Yeah, just I love the cartoon. There's a guy sitting on a park bench and his dog's sitting next to him, and there's a big thought bubble, and the guy's got his mortgage, his job, his relationship, his friendship, his lover, and he's got all this, and then there's the dog, and there's just food.
I thought you were going to say squirrel.
Squirrel or food, yeah. Oh, squirrel and food, yeah. That's it. But
Yeah.
you're not going to get that because your brain's too big, Scott.
No, but I like I was looking at the face of my dog. What a great teacher. I mean, just
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why most human beings love being around dogs for that. Yeah.
and kids, yeah.
For the the pure simplicity of.
Yeah, non-attachment. Just, whatever you're taking me, that's great, And if I could be like that with myself, or whatever my master is, I'm not sure I've figured out.
I love that. If you could be like that with yourself, well, of course you couldn't be like that with yourself, Scott. That's the whole problem that we're speaking about.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. But yeah, we do love being around animals because their emptiness is palpable and it feels like love. Most human beings love animals more than other human beings.
Yeah, it feels like total acceptance is what it is.
Yeah, unconditional. Which it pretty much is, not with all dogs. There's some nasty bastard dogs out there. I've met a few. But most dogs, most dogs are beautiful.
Well, thanks.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's good. But there is a thing. This isn't about escape. This isn't an escape from being human. That's not what this is speaking about. And a lot of spiritual seeking. I've met a lot of spiritual seekers, and really what they're trying to escape is the pain of being human. This message is not about that. Get yourself on a spiritual path. There's plenty to choose from if that's what you're after. This is almost the contrary to that kind of that hope that in some way you could become, or the human being could become, detached from the pain of feeling what it is like to be fully human. And by the pain of being fully human, I mean the things that hurt the most, which of course, by far the most powerful one of those is love. It's love that self fears more than anything else. Because of course, as well as the greatest joy, which is love, the greatest pain is equally love. And that's what we're speaking about. And really, that's what self is always running from. So it pretends it has the fantasy of running towards it, in finding the perfect lover, in finding the one that would complete me so that I don't feel so alone. So to fill this emptiness, this hole that I feel in myself, the one, there is another human being, the one, this dreadful fantasy. I really think it is dreadful, because most people torture themselves with that, but what it gives self is an endless journey towards that. And so self will take that all day long. We'll always, yeah, we'll not give that up, because that is the fuel of me, my sense of there is someone else out there who will complete me. And that's a terrible illusion. And this is the end of that illusion. This is the end of that fairy story, that fairy tale that you were told as a child, that even if you didn't do it consciously, you took on board as a child. I mean, you were told constantly as a child that you were incomplete, that you weren't good enough. Even if you weren't explicitly told it, the sense of self heard it that way anyway. Any criticism, all not good enough. And so then I seek it. So, and the most common way of seeking completion, to feel okay about myself, to feel whole, which of course this wholeness is never forgotten, because it's remembered without words from when I was 1 year old, before myself was formed, before I knew language. But there's you could say there's never forgotten. And that's why, if this message resonates, that's what it resonates with. So even if you say this message resonates with me, it doesn't resonate with me. It resonates with that, you could say, that's before me. Before you had language. And before you were born, you were born about 1.5 years old. And the wonder, the miracle is, not only do you not need another to feel complete, you don't need yourself to feel complete. In fact, it's essential that you don't feel yourself in order to feel complete, because self is the sense of incompletion. The sense of separation and the sense of incompletion are one and the same. They're not two different energies. They're not two different ways of feeling. I don't feel good enough. I don't feel okay. Even when I feel okay, I'm so worried about that okayness is about to leave. And of course it does for me. It always, I feel okay because I've got what I want, or I've achieved what I want, or things are going my way, and then they don't go my way. And then I'm not okay. And then I need to work harder. I did something wrong, probably. That's what most selves tell themselves. I somehow got it wrong. And the great piece of this message is you cannot get it wrong. And wonders of wonder, you can't get it right, which is even better than you can't get it wrong. You've been trying to get it right for a seeming lifetime. Very occasionally, you've told yourself you've succeeded and you got it right, just fleetingly, maybe even for a few days, but not for long. There's two really good reasons you can't get it right. I mean, I'm not just saying that. Number one, there's no you to get it right or wrong. And number two, this has no recognition of right and wrong at all. It would not know what you're talking about. Life does not see right and wrong. Joe the wanker is just as right as the rest of us in his disturbed. He's not more wrong. I know we don't like it, but that's it. We just don't like it. That's it. Just leave it at that. And it is unimaginable the peace that is in, I really don't like that. Is it wrong? No. I don't want to ever see him again, but it's not wrong. All what we call suffering is in, it's wrong. All of it. And there's only one person that ever says, this is wrong. This shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be as it is. This is not right. I need to do something about it. There's only one person. Me. I say that, don't I? Nobody else needs to say it. In fact, you couldn't really give a shit whether anybody else says it or not. Because at the end of the day, I'm the only one whose opinion I'm really interested in. I'm the judge. I am God. I am the arbiter of righteousness and justice. Am I not? Is that not the sense? Is that not what me is? I say what's right and wrong. And in that, I suffer like hell. That is hell. That is hell on earth. Got all biblical. But it is bloody hell, isn't it? So the amazing piece is you don't have to make anything wrong about what is disliked and is liked. There's unbelievable compassion in that. Unimaginable compassion that me couldn't even begin to comprehend because I'm so full of righteousness. That's what I am, the sense of I am. Anyway, enough of that. Felt a bit like Sermon on the Mount there for a minute. I was going to say blessed are the meek in a minute.
Tim, that was very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan.
I
do get a feeling of I get a little bit I feel the preacher coming out.
That's okay. We'll forgive you. I was feeling bad because I didn't have any reaction at all to whatever happened, that, it was just, oh, okay. I mean, but I grew up in New York City and I've seen it all,
You've seen a lot of that, yeah.
So it's like, okay. But even that is just, just what's happening, and my response, your response, somebody else's response.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all this message is saying is, look, the way you respond is the way you respond. It's just not you responding.
Yeah. Just what's happening.
Human beings just respond how they respond. I mean, it is complete forgiveness. But that's the thing. Forgiveness sounds as though you condone it. And the thing is, it's not that at all.
Right. Because when you said
there's
that,
great confusion.
Yeah, even that of feeling, well, I just forgive, I condone. But even that, if you, in that moment, you might feel like, get the hell out of here,
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay too. That's like,
Exactly that, yeah.
Instead of you shouldn't feel anything judgmental, or you should feel, it's.
No, this is great compassion for judgments.
Yeah. Very good.
Just think how hard you are on yourself for the judgments you make, especially if you've been taught that judging is, the correct thing to do is to be non-judgmental.
Well,
and then of course what you do, you give yourself a terribly hard time for being for judging something as disgusting or abhorrent, or whereas that's just naturally how it is.
Yeah.
Hi, David.
Hello, hi. I hope there's a stable connection here, but it's stating the obvious, really. Can you hear me okay, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you
It's,
fine.
in light of what you've said, which is a really lovely synopsis of whatever, can't remember, but it felt good at the time. The theory.
I love it that you love the synopsis of something you don't remember at all.
No clue.
That's perfect.
But the theory of meditation is absolutely sound in that respect. It's exactly what it's trying to imitate. It's just that it doesn't seem to work, strangely enough. It's maybe a bit like putting the cart before the horse.
I think so, yeah.
It becomes a prescriptive thing, because when it's described in that way, the way that you've described it, you think, wow, yeah, I'm going to sit down, let these thoughts come up, and I'm going to ignore them. Or, high indifference, divine indifference, actually.
Yeah.
And one can absolutely understand why there's so much emphasis put on meditation.
Yeah, and I kind of get it as well. But I'm in your camp, David, where I just found it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, I think, I'm afraid, everybody, we're always talking about Tony, but he does have some great one-liners. There's no doubt about it. And, when this kind of thing is raised, I was on a retreat with so-and-so, we meditated 5 hours a day, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't seem to, do anything. And, Tony just kind of leans over and he says, try harder. And just looks at me. Brutal.
Yes.
It's absolutely brutal. But it does make the point.
Yeah.
It's just not fair that God would expect us to meditate to get close to him. I mean, that's just not fair. It doesn't make any sense. But the thing is, the way you describe it there, my first thought is, that's meditation.
Yeah, that's interesting, because it doesn't come up for me, because my meditation experience is very short-lived, because as you might have guessed, I prefer speaking than being quiet.
Yeah, no, there's something desperately unfair about asking people to meditate relentlessly. I mean, clearly it's a helpful thing in some respect.
But it's interesting. What I found is, because of course it's all the introverts who really like the meditation, because they don't like them, they don't want noise anyway. So all the introverts are loving it. They don't fucking need it. The ones who need it are the just gobby extroverts like me. And of course they can't do it. It's like hell. It's just torture. And so I find meditation a bit of a bitch, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the ones who like it don't need it, and the ones who hate it, who really the ones who really need it but can't do it.
But
I'm not one for practicing anything. I'm one for playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if I was giving advice of how to live life, I would say play, not work. But of course, that's hard for me, because me has to earn its right to play by being good, and so it's only I can't allow myself to play unless I've earned it, and that's a real dilemma for self.
But one can see how the notion of meditation came about.
Yeah.
Of the description that I'm not criticizing the description, I think it was perfect, actually. A kind of indifference, a kind of, divine indifference, blah, blah, blah. So what you do is you sit and you become divinely indifferent, but it just doesn't seem to work for some reason, for some.
And it really, I mean, don't get me wrong, it can, if you've got a very busy mind, it can help a lot. I think it's therapeutic. I just don't think it's anything, it's no more what we're speaking about. Meditation is no closer to it than, playing golf.
It's very good for the heart, though. Reduces the heart rate and all,
it's therapeutic without a doubt. Yeah, I think it's good for body and mind. If anyone said, I would never discourage anyone from doing it.
Yeah.
But it won't take you closer, will it? That's the thing. That's where I get a bit gobby about, well, don't be telling stories about this will bring you closer.
Sure.
You know, that's the bit that I have an issue with, not meditation as a great practice for me to feel better. Yeah, I'm sure nearly everyone feels better for it.
Sure.
Physically, emotionally, and psychologically. Yeah, it's got lots of benefits.
Sure. Okay.
You know, along with other practices that are becoming mainstream, like mindfulness. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm never sure about that.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I did a mindfulness course.
But I think I'm a bit nervous when I mean, it suits rampant capitalism down to the ground.
It does.
Get everybody mindful, we can throw more shit at you. I mean, really, come on. And it's everywhere now. It's absolutely everywhere. Anyway.
But you could feel, you know, you could feel easier as therapists.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thank you for that. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, David.
Thank you.
Has anyone else got a question?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I left a message to just let you know that your book must be moving quite fast ahead, because your book has only been around for a very short time, but you've now got 18 ratings against another book that has been around for a long time. So well done.
Thanks, Marla. Well, thanks. Good for Marla.
I won't mention the writer of the other book, but he's quite well known on the circuit. So you must have something special going on.
Does his name begin with T?
Pardon?
We could go, you know, 10 questions to find out who he is. No, that's really great, Marla, and I appreciate the plug of the book right at the end of the meeting. Good timing. It's as if you know, you're a plant in the audience that I you know, that, you know, just in the last 2 minutes, Marla, you come in and say how brilliant the book is. I think I'm just having trouble with my internet. I think it's me, actually. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Okay. Can you hear me, Marla? Can you hear me, Marla?
I think she just reconnected, so she was gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So little plug for the book then. Last minute. If you thanks to everybody who has written a review. So there are now 17 just beautiful reviews of the book. It's yeah, it is great. Having said that, I need three more. So if you have bought the book, and the reason I say 3 more is Julie assures me that once it goes past 20, then it's on an algorithm that Amazon, it will appear every time anyone looks at non-duality books, my book will come up. And that apparently is the big way you sell more books. That's the way I always bought books. I would buy one book and it would go, you may also be interested in. And lo and behold, when I was a insane seeker, of course I was interested. I was interested in every bloody book I could get my hands on. I was completely insatiable. So I bought them all. And although this is a niche market, if everyone buys it, then I make a few bob. And you may think that's shallow, but I wouldn't mind selling a few more. So thanks, Marla. And if you have bought it and you haven't reviewed it and you'd like to, I know I've said this quite a few times. We'll say, if it gets to 20 this week, I'll never mention it again. There you go. We'll call it a deal. Marcus assures me he is Mark and that he has reviewed it, but I think he could still do another one as Marcus.
Where do you do the review, Tim?
Hey, sorry?
Where do you do the review?
Yeah, it has to be review it on Amazon, yeah.
Right, okay.
You got time for one more question, Tim?
Yes, one more.
Anne was going to ask something if she still wants
Anne.
to.
Yeah. Yes, Anne.
Oh, no, it wasn't important. I've just been nosy. I missed the beginning. And I just wondered if, you know, I guessed what happened. And I was just wondering if you got the visuals.
Did I get the what?
The visuals with the naughty man, Naughty Joe. Was it visual as well?
Oh, it was very oh, it was. Thanks, Anne.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
How naughty.
Yeah. Well, I think naughty is a bit of an understatement, really, but yeah, we'll call him naughty today. Oh, naughty boy. Sounds very Carry On.
But only you could see it. Oh, no, we could see it too if it was on the board. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, I think everyone could see it.
Oh, dear.
It was substantial. Kelly's here. She's genuinely disappointed that she missed it. Which I'm finding a little disturbing. Oh, it's best we laugh about it. I do hope it doesn't happen again, though. So I'm going to liaise with Darren, my bouncer, and see how we might. So what I'd like from everyone, either to be friends on Facebook or send me your email, or both. And you can either email me, so you can email me through the website. That's a different email, or you can just email me at my regular email, which is timcliss@hotmail.co.uk. Yes, I've still got a Hotmail email. Apparently, it's very it's very unfashionable.
And again, if you're not on Facebook, go to timclissthis.com. We'll get it up on there as well.
Yeah. So, well, thanks everyone for putting up with today. It did put me off a bit, I have to say. I didn't know. Yeah. You know. I will say it did happen not a number of times, more than once in my teaching career. A similar thing at the back of the class. Yes. Yeah.
You'd never know that you were mortified, honestly.
Well, no, I wasn't mortified. It's just a little bit like, oh, do you have to do that here? It's just I'm just like a parent who just wants to say, right, now go to your room and don't come out. Well, thanks everyone. Hope it didn't spoil the meeting too much.
No.
And, look forward to seeing you again. So I'll have a chat with Darren, and then we'll see if we can work out that you may well need the password. And it's no good looking on YouTube for the invitation, because I'm not going to put it there. And then I think that probably should sort it. Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank
Tim.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, Tim. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.